Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here from Moss Pawn & Gun. You guys have probably been wondering when we're going to post part 2 of our magazine torture test for the AR-15 here. We've finally gotten around to getting on this, and we want to make sure that we proceed pretty much in the same exact manner we did the first test in. We're going to use our little Dolos rig here, the 7.5-inch barrel with a carbine length gas system. We've also got an SBR here. We've got a couple of mid-length gas systems and a full-length gas system. So the way we're going to do it, essentially, is we're going to start out with our tiny rig, and if the smaller rig, the shorter gas system, less dwell time, much faster velocity of the bolt moving back and forth over the magazine, if we get stoppages as we torture these magazines and roll along today, we'll step up to maybe different rigs, and just to give the magazine a fair chance. That way, if it is an issue with the rig and not exactly the magazine, we can isolate those issues, if it is a certain gun that's giving problems. So I have a lot of expectations going into this test. We are going to put these things through some pretty nasty testing. Of course, your typical things we're going to do, a lot of submersion, some dirt and debris and other things like that, but also some drop testing, some just general torture testing, what kind of abuse the magazines can take and hold together, and then see if they run well after all of that stuff. There were a couple of magazines that weren't used in the first part, and that's kind of one of the reasons that we waited longer to get part 2 out of the way, is because I didn't have a Promag magazine. So I finally found one of those. We're going to shoot a baseline test with the Dolos just to see how that runs. We've also got one of these Elite Tactical Systems 30-round magazines. Got a pretty interesting little coupling feature. They couple together, they're clear, see-through, that's kind of cool. I'm going to test one of these out to see how it runs, and then as long as they run okay, we'll go ahead and integrate them into the torture test. So let's go ahead and get that done, and we'll talk as we go here. All right, guys, rolling into it. We're going to start with the baseline. Got a Promag here. Price pretty reasonable, seem to be robustly made. This is just functions test to make sure this particular one's going to run before we get rolling on with the rest. We're going to run some Federal M855 ball ammunition for the entire test. Just keep it consistent. I've got some USA Chemical Supply binary charges downrange. We're going to blow a couple of those up just for fun, just because we can. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're having a few hiccups with our magazine, and let's see if we can finish out the entire rig here. Well, we did have a couple of failures to feed there. Let's go ahead and try out this Elite Tactical Systems magazine just to make sure the little rig's running okay. I will run this through one of the other guns before the video's over here. Let's get to it. All right, baseline test, Elite Tactical Systems, clear magazine with coupling hookups on the side. Pretty cool little mag. I like that it's clear. Let's try it out. All right, cool. Well, that little mag works fine. We're going to include it in the test. I'm going to swap to a longer gas system. We're going to try that Promag out again just to make sure we didn't get a limb in there. All right, guys, we're going to give the Promag another chance out of a longer gas system. This is a mid-length gas system. Hoping that maybe the bolt will be a little slower. It could be the Dolos rig. We don't know, so we're going to try it out. Now, I know you guys are going to give me hell about this, and this is why I want to mention this. The other magazines that we had issues with in the first test, I went back and I test fired them through a couple of different rigs, and I was having nothing but malfunctions. The same exact malfunctions I was having in the Dolos, I was having all my other rigs as well. So I know it's the magazines, I know it's not the weapon system. I use the same ammunition, I know it's not the ammunition. Is that just a lemon? Is that just a bad batch of mags? Maybe I got that one bad one out of 100,000. I don't know, but that's the way I have to look at the results. We are going to give the Promag a chance because we did run the other ones. Here we go. It doesn't drop free out of this particular rig, but it ran okay. So let's go ahead and get on with the torture test. I think we see what we have to work with. Let's get to it. All right, guys, first thing we're going to do is conduct a series of drop testing. This is pretty standard stuff here. You know, let's just say the firearm's shouldered, your magazine is loaded, you pull a rookie move, you drop the mag loaded onto the concrete. What happens? Does the mag break? Do the rounds eject? Does the magazine shatter into a million pieces? What happens? So here we go. First thing, GI magazine, just a standard Colt mag with a Magpul follower. Ready? All right. All right, fully loaded Promag. Here we go. Oh man. All right. All right, moving along. Swamp Fox, fully loaded 30 round mag. All right. Hex Mag, fully loaded. P-Mag, fully loaded. We had a round pop out of the magazine. Troy Battle Mag, fully loaded. One thing I want to say is that thing really did lock in there nice and smooth. I like that. Thermal magazine, fully loaded. Elite Tactical Systems mag, fully loaded. And last but not least, X Products skeletonized 50 round drum magazine, fully loaded. Now guys, be easy now. If this thing shatters, we just have to, it is what it is. All right, here we go. They held together. Now I'll tell you what, enough of this Mickey Mouse stuff. Let's test fire these, and then we're gonna proceed to do some worse things. Let's do it. All right, guys, I got a little bit of a theory here. If I look at the wear patterns on all these magazines as they fell from the rifle from the shoulder position, they all pretty much took a corner shot right on the back side of the magazine, which tells me that the center of gravity of the magazine is well balanced between all of them, and it begins to kind of skewer downward because of the way the weight, the angle of the mag well, where you're holding it from a shoulder position, they all fell in exactly the same area. Now, I'm not going to insult anyone's intelligence here. I think we can all assume these mags are going to work just fine, but just for the sake of consistency, I'm just going to run a couple of rounds out of each one just to make sure that there hasn't been some unforeseen damage that we didn't factor in. So, GI mag. And guys, we're just going to fire them down in the berm, nothing fancy here. Okay. Promag. Malfunction. That was a failure to feed. Elite Tactical Systems, clear mag with coupler. I did fine. Thermal, this is the one I thought was going to bust right when it hit the ground because these things just feel so flimsy and crappy, but if it works, it works. Hex Mag. Well, I thought it was going to be a failure to feed. It fed just fine. I guess it was a little sluggish. All right, that did okay. Promag. Troy Battle Mag. Swamp Fox magazine. Failure to feed. There we go. Looks good. Well, you know, bear in mind, it's 30 rounds, guys. Sometimes that top one can be a little bit sluggish to pick up. I think that's the only issue we're having here. All right, looking good so far. X Products, skeletonized 50 round drum magazine. Looks good. Let's try her out. Failure to feed. Failure to feed. All right. Since we're already back here at the berm, we got this nice nasty railroad tie right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the mags in the gun. We're gonna beat up on them a little bit. We're gonna start off with the GI magazine. Not gonna charge it yet, but we are gonna beat them up a bit. All right, let's try it out. Failure to feed. Ran just fine for the most part. It's got a couple of little dents in it, but guys, come on, that's a GI mag. Let's give it a break. Okay, Promag. Empty chamber, Promag, here we go. Oh yeah, there's some spots on it. We'll look at them in a minute. Elite Tactical Systems. It looks like I've messed up my AR in the process. All right, guys, well, it appears that I'm being a little bit too rough on my AR because I just bent my buffer tube downward a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is, just to try to salvage the test, I'm gonna bend it back. Good as new. All right, let's get back to work. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more gentle with what's going on here. Oh yeah, it's fine, just need to be bent back. All right, moving along, thermold. Well, that didn't work out. Well, that's easy. That's ammo I don't have to burn up. All right, moving along. Hex Mag. Okay, looking good. Ooh. Let's try it. Oh yeah. That's a winner in my book. This turned into an AR torture test too, so I'm still just, it's killing me about that dang buffer tube, guys. All right, serious face, war face. Promag, Gen 3, fully loaded. Well, actually it's short about 6 rounds. All right, here we go. Let's go. All right. Troy Battle Mag. This is the one I'm really curious about. Here we go. Whoa. Well, that didn't go well. Okay. Well, not quite so robust there, guys. Oops. All right, so Troy Battle Mag didn't fare quite so well to the physical abuse. All right, Swamp Fox, 30 round mag. Huh, okay. Okay, guys. Overexertion of the magazine, guys. Oh, man. Chad, come and pull on this magazine. Oh yeah,
that didn't work. Yeah,
that didn't work.
Right past the magazine catch.
So it overexerted. Inserted itself. All right. Well, guys, at this point, I think it's safe to say I'm going to disassemble this gun, make sure we haven't damaged anything on our AR pistol here. We'll move on and try out the X Products drum. We're going to move on to some other diabolical things. Let's get to it. So far, the results of this test, very interesting. All right, guys, we had to take a short break and determine what happened with the Swamp Fox magazine. It looks like the magazine over-inserted into the gun and broke off one part of the feed lips in the magazine, and that little piece of polymer jammed up the action of my AR, and that's why it stopped running. So far, the Troy Battle Mag, the Thermal Mag, and the Swamp Fox Mag are out of the running. Those 3 are done. I mean, we've already destroyed them today, and we haven't even gotten to some of the other tests yet. We're gonna go ahead and test the X50, and then we're gonna move on with life here. Bit my buffer tube again. Better. All right, let's try it out. Oh, oh yeah, hang on a second here. Oh man, hang on a second. All right, so when I was beating that big heavy mag against the railroad tie here, I bent my buffer tube on my AR again. I had to bend it back, you know, to make sure the gun would run, because I felt the bolt kind of like chamber sluggishly, so I figured it would slow down by the buffer tube. But the magazine still ran, even though there's a giant crack running like all along the side of the tower, and a section of metal got chunked out of the top of the mag, and it still ran. That's pretty impressive. You know, I thought this thing was going to choke pretty quickly, but I mean, it's still a little wonky there, but hey, still running. So guys, we're just scratching the surface here. Stick around. We're going to move along. We're going to take the rest of our wounded soldiers along with us. We're going to keep this test going. Let's do it. All right, guys, I know what you're probably thinking. Why am I kneeling down next to the creek here with an AR-15 next to me? Well, we've moved along to our next segment here. Now, I loaded up all the magazines to full capacity, and I dropped them over here in the creek just for the heck of it. We'll fish them out here in a moment, see if they run. There's also some nasty mud and grime down there too. Probably not going to help things too much for them. I did try loading the Colt magazine back up to full capacity, but there's a real nasty dent where we slammed it down and it butted up against the mag well, and we dented the magazine and it won't work. So we're going to have to remove this magazine from the running. Okay, let's find our first mag. Oh, what did we get first? A P-mag, loaded up to full capacity. All right, without further ado, a little bit of submersion, little nasty muck here. One other thing I want to mention is that this test has been pretty dang taxing on this rig as well. You know, I've already bent my buffer tube on my little pistol here twice. I'm gonna probably have to replace it. I might have even cracked the receiver. I don't know yet. We'll look at it later. But let's get to it. Oh yeah. Promag. Failure to feed. Failure to feed. Failure to feed. Done. Hex Mag. Fine. X-15 skeletonized. See, all you guys were going, oh, skeletonized, it's gonna get all a bunch of crap in it. That drained out pretty quick if you ask me. Now remember guys, this thing is physically damaged still. Let's see if it runs. When I put it in the mag well, the two sections of the follower that were kind of split apart sort of forced themselves together, so maybe, maybe it'll work. All right, here we go. Well guys, I'm a little perplexed, you know. I mean, I know a lot of people really complain about these Hex Products mags, and you know, some of them not running like people want them to, but that one seems to be doing just fine for me. P-Mag, you know, that's to be expected. You know, our Elite Tactical Systems and Hex Mag seem to run fine. Let's get back over to the table and wrap things up. I think it's pretty clear who the winners are here. All right guys, we're wrapping things up a little bit. You know, I don't really believe in blind data without something gleaned from the information that we came up with from this test. So what did we learn? Well, we learned that magazines fail in a couple of areas. I mean, one area, obviously, if the base plate gets destroyed on the Troy, the base plate pretty much disintegrated with one relatively strong strike on the bottom. Now that could be, you know, okay, you're getting out of your Humvee, whatever, you're getting out of your car, whatever. If you're a soldier, you're a policeman, you're an everyday citizen, you get out of your car, you drop your gun, loaded, down, bam, mag cracks, it's down. Okay, that happened to two of them. All right, the Thermold and the Troy, okay? The other area that these magazines fail is if it takes a drop, let's say the gun is loaded and it takes a drop downward and there's a strike from this perspective. You know, you bang your mag against something, you know, you're going into a building and you hit your mag against something and it's hard enough for the magazine to offset into the well of the magazine well. It can push the material back in the magazine, and that's exactly what caused these three magazines to fail. The polymer in these two was set back enough to not allow the follower to go past that point because that offset of material won't allow the follower to progress any further. That's also what stopped the Colt GI mag with the Magpul follower. You can see there's distinct dents on that area against the magazine well. The followers held up just fine on these, but of course they failed. These three magazines did fine. Magpul Gen 3, our Hex Mag, our Elite Tactical Systems mag, and I'm really impressed with our little X Products X50 AR mag there. You know, even though it's skeletonized, I expected a little bit more dirt and grime and debris to kind of get into them, but you know, we did some submersion, a little bit of, you know, nasty, a little yuck, seemed to do just fine. Drop testing did just fine. Some abuse, they did just fine. All we have to do now is shoot them. So let's shoot them and see how well they work, you know, real quick. I'm gonna break out my EDC and make that happen. All right, guys, well, you know, they did really nice in that last test, but you know, shooting them again, seeing is believing. So we're gonna shoot them again. Let me grab my, my EDC here. A little 500 Magnum 4-inch with some 500 grain projectiles. Let's see how well these mags shoot now. Oh yeah, we hit that one. All right, this is the one that's gonna pain me the most because these X Products drums are freaking expensive. Let's see if we can clip it and see if it'll still work. Here we go. Whoa, yeah. Let's have a look. You're probably wondering why I did that. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm just cruel. All right. If my equipment can survive with a 500 Magnum hole through it, look at that nice clean hole going through that P-Mag. Let's see if it runs. Nice. Hex Mag. Yeah, that one's a little foobar, but let's try it. Well, didn't lock the bolt to the rear, but it worked. Look at that big crack going up the side of that mag. 500 Magnum hole going through it. Well, guys, I can't say the same thing for our Porex Products mag. I tried loading it, but I think we're just screwed there. So, yeah, that probably was an awfully nasty thing to do to that poor magazine. Well, guys, on a serious note, I hope you enjoyed this video. We really try hard to put some thought into these and how we approach torture testing and how we approach, real world testing of various things, whether it's magazines, firearms, accessories, whatever the case may be. I tell you, I'm really impressed at the performance of these magazines. I think it really goes to show, which ones you can rely on, trust your life on. I mean, this little magazine, little Elite Tactical, did pretty good there. Hex Mag, and the P-Mag. Those are the three that I would narrow it down to. If I had to stock up on a bunch of them, guys, the proof's in the pudding. Okay, there it is. And I'll tell you what, another thing I'm kind of impressed with is how well this little AR pistol kept kind of trekking along. I know we had a few hiccups here and there, but the Dolos seemed to hold together just fine. We bent the we bent the buffer tube on the dang thing about 3 times and had to bend it back, but it's doing fine. So I think that what this video gets me in the mood to do, I don't know about you guys, I think we need to do an AR-15 torture test, and we're going to compare it to the AK-47, maybe even a couple of other guns on the market. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming soon. Guys, we appreciate the support today. Keep watching. We got much more stuff in the way for you. Just lots of great things that we're trying to get done this year. 2015 is going to be an awesome year for us. This is actually the last video we filmed in December, so moving along, I think we're going to have a great year. We appreciate the support. Have a good one. We'll catch you guys next time.